thank you guys so much again for getting on. I actually just came from celebrating my boyfriend's last day at his old job. And it was really crazy because that's how we met. We met at my old corporate job. So being with him and all of this, my old coworkers, it was kind of weird. And I was just at the bar kind of like listening to everybody complain about their day and about their corporate world and how, things at the office just kind of suck. And it just kind of made me really happy to come home and do this call with you guys. So I'm really thankful that you guys made it on because, that was my life. That was me 2 years ago. I was the one at the bar complaining and kind of hating everything and just never feeling excited or happy about going to work the next day. I would just dread it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do a screen share with you guys, and you're going to see my computer. And we're just going to kind of dive right into it and go for it. Okay, so you guys should be able to see my screen. So I'm going to just kind of talk tonight about exactly what I just did, how I was able to change my life and sort of, there we go, and just, change everything for me. And I was able to really just kind of, put everything back into perspective and actually make something for myself that I really wanted. And instead of, living this life that other people wanted for me or that I thought I wanted. So I decided I was going to change some things. So what I did was, my backstory about everything was, I was always like the kind of chunky girl in the group. I was always a little bit more on the heavier side. I was never super fit. I never really liked working out. And I, ate a lot of fast food. I never played any sports. It's really funny because I basically failed gym class and I ended up talking my way out of it somehow, thank God, because I would have gotten sent to summer school. Like, who wants to go to summer school for gym? I just absolutely hated anything that was going to have me be a sweaty, hot mess. And it wasn't until 2 years ago also that I finally officially got diagnosed with endometriosis. So if any of you are listening that don't know what endo is, it's an autoimmune disease that affects only women. And I literally, my whole life, I was kind of always sick. There was just something always wrong with me. And it took over 10 years for me to finally get diagnosed. But because since being diagnosed and right before, a little bit before officially getting diagnosed with endo, I kind of started this new journey. And one day I literally just started working out. I didn't do anything before that. I was never a fitness guru or if you know me today, I was never like this. Okay. But I used to be an eyewear designer, and I kind of never felt like I had the perfect fit. I just sort of, did what I thought I had to do. After high school, I went to college, and then I, found my job, and I thought that's kind of what I needed to do. And I was basically stuck inside of a cubicle, and I absolutely hated it. It was not for me. And I never really thought that, I could do more because, like, what do you do, right? So I found the at-home fitness program, Turbo Fire, and I became obsessed with it. And I started doing it religiously. Like, I just jumped full in. I just absolutely loved it. And for the first time, I actually enjoyed working out, which was really new to me. And this tiny little thought popped in my head one day during my workout in my basement. And I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if I could be that person that's in a video changing somebody's life in their own basement? Like, I had no idea who any of these women were in Turbo Fire, but what I did know was I was inspired by them every single day. They made me want to do more and be better, and I just really wanted to do that for somebody. And I had no idea what that meant or anything, but I knew I wanted to do something more for others. I knew I hated my corporate life. Sort of like I said earlier, I used to work in New York City, and I would have to take 2 trains just to get to my job. So I would leave my house at 6:30 a.m., and by 8 o'clock I had to be at my desk. So from 6:30 to 8 a.m., that was a really long commute. And I remember like turning into somebody else because I hated it. Like, I mean, if any of you have been to New York City, or I'm sure any big city, but like, I mean, you need to like hold your own in New York City. And that commute kind of just tore me down. That's a really long day. I would leave at 6:30 in the morning, and sometimes I wouldn't get home, and I wouldn't even leave my office until like 8 p.m., which means I wouldn't walk into my house until like 10 p.m. By the time my 2 trains got in, and then I got to the train station, and then I drove myself home. Like, it was just a lot. And what I ended up doing one day on my train ride in one morning was I wrote down in my notes section on my phone a bunch of things that I absolutely loved doing and things that I wanted in a job. And then what I also did was wrote down things that I did not want in a job, because I truly believe that you need to know what you don't want to do just as much as you need to know what you do want to do. I mean, if you I'm not a numbers person, and my first job out of college was as a oh my gosh, I can't think of the name. I was a stylist, somebody that, and I quickly realized that like that whole fashion world, there's a lot of statistics and analyzing sales numbers that go into it. And I realized quickly that was not for me. I didn't want to sit behind a computer and have to analyze numbers, but that's what the job actually was. So I knew what I didn't want to do, but what I realized with making this list was everything was very consistent and kind of aligned with what I am doing today as a Beachbody coach. I loved working out. I loved being with people. I loved talking to people, meeting new people. I love learning. I love trying new things, and I always love being challenged. If I realized that, once I got really comfortable at a job, I was just kind of like, meh, what's next? I realized I get bored very quick. So I knew those things about me. And what I did with that list is that's kind of how I came to find Beachbody. So, I literally went from having this, I was a brand manager, and I got to travel to Italy. I worked on brands, eyewear brands for the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I'm a huge art junkie, so that was awesome. I worked for Ivanka Trump, and I got to meet her and Donald Trump. Like, I was doing really big things that I thought I wanted. But it was kind of like looking from the outside in. It wasn't doing anything for my soul. I didn't feel like I was doing anything. I tried, to make myself feel better and say that I was helping cure blindness. But I really wasn't. I was just making sunglasses that I'm sure all of you probably have purchased at least once, and they all have broken because they're just not good quality, whatever. So I really went from having, this dream that I thought of something that I thought I wanted, and then I had it, and I realized I was not getting the true things that I wanted out of life. I didn't leave my job feeling happy. I, was not financially free at all. I was spending more money on my commute just to sit at a desk than I was doing anything. There was always this stop. I always had to wait for somebody for a raise. It wasn't the right time. I didn't have my review. I have to wait. I either caught my boss on a bad day. If she was in a pissy mood, you can't talk to her on that day. there was just so many things that I just felt like were stopping me from me ever truly being my potential and living up to it. The thing is too with corporate, like if you know what you're worth, it doesn't really matter if it's not any benefit to your boss or to your boss's boss. There's always that big corporate ladder. So that's something that I really had to sit down and I had to realize and think of, what do I want big picture wise? And because of that, this is now my life. This is, when I made this slide, I probably cried like 5 times because I absolutely none of these things that you see up on this slide, none of this would have ever happened if it wasn't for Beachbody. I would have never opened up the way I did about having endo if it wasn't for Beachbody. I would have never went on a cruise with my boyfriend and was doing yoga on the top of a cruise ship in that top picture with my boyfriend. I'm in the pink shorts if you can't see me. And then Tom is in the white shorts with the one awkward hand up in the air. But like those things would have never happened. The picture at the very bottom on the right is a trip that we all took to Texas for Platinum Presenters. And then you guys all probably know Ma. But like none of these things would have ever happened. I would have never met any of these people in these pictures if it wasn't for Beachbody. And my why is extremely close to my heart because this is my why, right? My endo girls are my why. My parents, my boyfriend, the big picture things, what I want for myself. Like I feel like I have to be very selfish because this is the way I want my life to be. I want my life on my terms, not on a boss's terms. And by having this opportunity and being a coach, it's giving me that chance and I'm actually living it. So I kind of want to ask you guys, if you could do anything all day long and actually get paid, what would that look for you? What does that look like? Truly write these questions down and really think about it after the call because these are some powerful questions. I mean, if you could do anything and actually get paid, what would you do? What do you feel like you're so good at? Like, what's your strength? What do you absolutely love? What do people come to you for the most? Like, do people always say, oh, your hair looks awesome? Oh, how you dress so good? How do you shop? How do you do all the things that you do for your family or whatever the case may be? There's always something about you, right? There's something about you that you love doing that people always come to you for. What are those things? So I get asked a lot how I actually did this change, right? Because there's one thing where you can kind of sit there and be like, I'm going to leave my corporate job and build my own business online. But then to actually make that step, it's really scary. And I still sometimes get scared and wonder what the heck I did. But I know that what I want more is greater than my fear of failing. So, I knew that I needed, in order for me to leave my job, I knew that I had a lot of things to do. I knew I was going to get a lot of, people kind of putting me down, saying that it's not going to work. How are you going to support yourself? The whole thing of what is Beachbody Coach, right? I'm sure you guys have all asked yourself that at least once. But I knew that I wanted to create this for myself. I work from home. It's amazing. I'm actually dressed today, but usually I just kind of hang out in PJs. Like that, those tiny things are important to me. I was in the fashion industry. So this was me every single day, full face of makeup, hair done, heels. That's not, big picture for me. I don't want to be in a suit. No. So stepping outside of that norm or what you think you're supposed to do is really scary, but your thoughts and the way you think really impact everything. And the way you think can make or break you, basically. You can either totally be successful if you believe it. If you have any doubts, you kind of have to stop and think, what is that doubt? Why are you stopping yourself? Why are you not allowing to take yourself to just kind of take a chance, right? Honestly, the thing is too with being a Beachbody coach is you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have your crap together, if that's a better word to say. You don't have to have it all together. I love using this analogy when it comes to being a Beachbody coach. Would you personally go up to someone in a gym if they are ripped and have a six-pack and like their body is just on point, there's no fat, nothing wrong with them? Or would you go up to somebody that kind of reminds you of yourself, that's working just as hard as you? I would be extremely intimidated to go up to somebody with a six-pack that looked amazing. If I was looking for help on my journey, I would be very intimidated. That's the one amazing thing about Beachbody is most of us are not even anywhere near our goal weight or our fitness level. I'm still not. I started and I couldn't even, when I first joined as a Beachbody coach, I couldn't even do a push-up. I couldn't even do a push-up on my knees. But that didn't stop me. That didn't stop me from being successful. The beauty of being a Beachbody coach is you're just being yourself. You're sharing what you're doing. Because we can all relate to not being able to do a push-up, right? Like I know Allison is on this call. She just did her very first unassisted pull-up. Like that is huge, right? Like those things are accomplishments. I can't even do a pull-up, So not having it together or not being this perfect fit person is actually going to work in your advantage because you can relate to people. You can talk to people. People can be like, oh, and this happens all the time, especially with my mom and how she's been doing. Oh, well, if she can do it, then I can do it. It's that mindset. That's the beauty of this. And also obviously money is going to be a huge concern, right? How do you earn money? It's one of those things that you just kind of need to, think about and say, how much are you worth? What's your hourly rate? What would you rate yourself? I am going on a trip next week. So that means I work for myself. So I don't have a job, right? Like I don't have a steady weekly 9 to 5 paycheck coming in. And for some people that could be very scary if they go away and they leave their business for over a week. But I can actually leave my business, not check in, and I will still have a very nice paycheck. So you have to kind of think about where is your worth, right? Like what matters to you, being able to sort of go and, figure out where you are on this chart, and what would you do if you were able to kind of not work, but still earn money? And I love to think about Beachbody as sort of a way, like you as a Beachbody coach, you're franchising. You can kind of think it like that, right? You know how like franchises work, like you own your own business, it's yours. All you're doing is taking the name. So that's the really awesome thing about having Beachbody in your back pocket is you are yourself, you are your business, you are your brand. But what's different is you have these awesome programs. You have amazing nutrition guides and Shakeology and the community and the support that everybody truly needs in like your back pocket. But what you don't have to do is you don't have to build yourself up from scratch if you were to go and make your own online business or become a true health and fitness coach and go get certified and then have to find customers and all of that. People know what insanity is. People know P90X. They know who Tony Horton is. If they stay up late, they've probably seen one of the many infomercials. So Beachbody has done so much for you that you don't really have to do that much. It's not like starting from scratch. And honestly, the community of Beachbody is probably what attracted me the most to this business because I came from a fashion corporate background. And if you've ever seen that movie, The Devil Wears Prada, it is real. So going from something like that to having actual, true, meaningful relationships and friendships and people that encourage you to be better because they know that you can be better, and it's not even a personal gain, it's just that friendship and that common bond, like that was a huge game changer for me, and that's what's usually a big game changer for most people. So I know I mentioned a few products, but this is sort of our catalog, I guess, of programs that we do have. I don't know if you guys can see all of these, but what we have is one of our newest programs is, it's not a program, I guess. It's Beachbody On Demand, which basically is like Netflix for fitness people. It's insane. You can literally just log in and do any of these programs. Things like PiYo, the 21-Day Fix, the 21-Day Fix Extreme, P90X, Insanity Max. You can also do Turbo Fire, Chalene Extreme, 10-minute, the 10-minute trainer with Tony Horton, like anything. All of these are there. Beachbody also has an amazing 21-day Whole Foods detox. It's called the Ultimate Reset. I've done it 3 times. Oh, it's amazing. It's one of my absolute favorite programs. I feel like people get kind of confused about how to eat, what to eat, cleanses, juice cleanses, detoxes. We kind of have it all covered, and the Ultimate Reset is a whole foods detox cleanse. So you're going to actually eat the entire time, which is much better than, say, doing like a juice cleanse, which I just could never do because I love to eat. But here's just, a few array of all the programs that we do have. So I know I mentioned Shakeology, and sometimes I feel like people don't know what Shakeology is, which is mind-blowing to me because I love it so much, and I have it like twice a day sometimes, and I've been drinking it daily for over 2 years now. And for me personally, Shakeology has been a big game changer for me in my life with endometriosis, because when I got diagnosed with endo, I decided that I was going to heal myself naturally instead of going down more medications, going down that route. And finding Shakeology was kind of like a godsend for me, to be totally honest. I mean, I gave up all gluten, wheat, dairy, soy, red meat, anything processed. Like, I gave up a lot of stuff to live my life medication free. And I thank God I found Shakeology, because it has totally helped me stay on track. I'm such a sweet tooth person. I love chocolate. I love candy. I love sugar. If you put me next to cotton candy, I will probably fight you for it, because I just love it. I love it. That's just who I am. And having Shakeology has really been able to help me curb those cravings that I have. Even late at night sometimes when I'm just like, you're kind of like looking around the house, like the kids are in bed, it's after 9, you're like, what's there to eat? The only thing that I grab is Shakeology, because it's so easy, it's quick. I'm getting all of the nutrients that my body needs every single day, but it's chocolate, so I feel like I'm being bad. I don't know if that makes sense with any of you, but I feel like I'm being bad, right? What I do also is I put my Shakeology in the freezer, and I let it freeze up, and I kind of have like an ice cream. It's amazing. Shakeology is a weight loss shake. It is a meal replacement shake. It is a protein shake. It's all of those things, but it's not just that. So it's not just a meal replacement. It's so much more than that, because you are getting so many nutrients every single day. My mom's been drinking Shakeology now, and our goal is to get her off a few more medications. But so far, her triglycerides and cholesterol have improved so much, to the point where the doctors are able to take her off a few medications. That's amazing. And, honestly, just looking at this chart, I mean, look at that Big Mac. I used to eat Big Macs like it was my job. Man, used to pack those things away with the extra large fries and a Diet Coke. I used to do some damage. And, you know, I get asked a lot too when it comes to the coaching opportunity is, you know, what's going to happen, right? Like what's the future look like? Honestly, the future is going to be insane with Beachbody. We are expanding, you know, huge, right? I mean, we're in Canada now. We have a lot of Canadian coaches on our team, which is really exciting. And, you know, I took this picture actually from one of our events called Summit. And I mean, those are some big jumps. And it's just going to continue to grow. Beachbody is always on the cutting edge of things too, which is so exciting to see and to be a part of. And, you know, like I touched on earlier, honestly, about who can be a coach. You don't have to be at your peak fitness level. Like, these are actual people on our team. And, you know, just kind of look at them. They're all totally different. None of them look like me. None of them really look like any of you that are on the call that I can see. Like, we're just all so different. And that's just something that I absolutely love. Like, Brianne is in her 30s and she's a single mom of twins. She's a Beachbody coach. Erin is in law school, 20-something. She's a Beachbody coach. Mike and Marie, they're over 40. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. The only thing that you truly need to have to be a successful coach is you have to have some passion. You have to care. You have to actually be self-motivated, because this is starting your own business. You really need to want to help better your own life in the process of helping others, right? So you have to be okay with being selfish, right? Like, this is an amazing experience and opportunity. Like, you know, you're going to learn so much about yourself. Like, for me personally, I would have never opened up the way I did about having endometriosis if it wasn't for Beachbody. Like, you're going to learn a lot about who you truly are, about who you want to be. What do you really want? Like, we really make you think about big picture goals. You know, like, what do you really want, and what do you really truly care about? So I know a lot of you guys are probably, okay, so what's my job as a coach, right? Like, what do you do all day, right? What I do all day is I sit on social media all day, and I basically just share what I'm doing. So I'm not selling anything, okay? So what I'm doing is, all I'm doing is sharing my journey, because I truly believe that these programs work. Like, TurboFire and Shakeology changed my life. If TurboFire never came into my life, there's no way I would be here with you right now. So that's all that I'm sharing. That's what I'm putting out there. I also am constantly running online challenge groups, accountability groups. If you follow me on social media, I'm sure you've seen those kind of popping up. And what it is it's just an awesome place for people to go online and just kind of check in, get some motivation. You know, sometimes you don't feel like working out. Sometimes you have cheat meals that maybe go a little bit too far. Sometimes those cheat meals last a week, a little bit longer. So those groups are there to help kind of fight that. They're there to help motivate you. You know, I connect people with, you know, the right program, because what works for me might not work for you. So it's really just networking, meeting new people, making new friends, and sharing what you're doing. Ooh, how do we make money? Obviously, we get commission. So you do get commission on anything that you sell. But you also get team cycle bonuses. And the team cycle bonuses is where you are really able to see the big picture of the income possibilities of what Beachbody can offer. You know, it depends on your personal team and your team's growth, but the amount of money income that you can be making is totally limitless. Like, you can grow as high as you possibly want with this business. And there's no boss, there's nobody telling you you can't. There's nobody telling you that you're capped out. There's none of that. The possibilities can go on and on and on. So now I know you guys are all super excited and ready to get started with us, right? The best way to get started is through a challenge pack. So a challenge pack is a program of your choice plus Shakeology. And by bundling up those two things together, all of your coach fees are going to get waived. And even if you have a program or, you have Shakeology, it's a great way to get a new program in and to just kind of start fresh with something. And challenge packs usually range anywhere from $140 to $305. So big picture wise, that's your initial investment as a Beachbody coach. You'll also have a $15.95 monthly fee, and that is going to cover all 3 of your websites, because Beachbody is going to give you 3 websites. They're going to give you all the tools you need, all of the marketing materials, everything, and basically you're paying $16 a month for that. Your websites also come in English and Spanish too, just in case. And you don't have to do anything with your website. So if you've ever tried creating a website, it's a pain in the butt. This totally just demolishes all of that. You also get 25% off all of your purchases. So all of your Shakeology, any future programs, you're going to get a discount on that also. And also, if you are a part of a military family, you get extra discounts. So make sure you let me or whoever know that sent you here, if you have somebody if you're a military spouse or you are in the military, you actually get all of these fees waived forever. It's awesome. It's like a no-brainer. But to be totally honest, what you put into this business is what you're going to see back. If you just sit there and you kind of just like, sign me up as a coach, and then you don't do anything, you're not going to see anything. So usually I say you need about 15 to 30 minutes a day, maybe 3 hours a week, just to get started. Because what we do is we're going to put you in a training group, and you're going to learn everything that you need to know. But starting out, I would at least say you probably need about 3 hours. So in this group, we're going to train you. So it's 14 days. So it's only 2 weeks. There's going to be 10 assignments within the group. But what it's going to do is we're going to literally break down every single step, all of the things that you need to know and do right away about being a coach. How are you become successful? So it's basically kind of like a kickstart for you. So we're going to totally just be there with you guys the entire time. We're going to show you and tell you exactly things that you need to do. You're going to get one-on-one mentorship with either me or whoever sent you here. And you're going to really be, learning a lot. You're going to learn about social media. You're going to learn about how to share your story and share what you're doing and connecting with other people. And, some of our team is really, really pretty awesome. We've got a lot of top coaches. We have a lot of elite coaches on our team. So you're going to get really awesome training from people that are crazy successful in this business, which is very exciting. So it's not like you're going to sign up and we're going to kind of let you go. You'll be with us. You're going to see us. We're going to come very close. Honestly, too, there's always going to be a need. I get asked a lot too about, I feel like everybody I know is being a coach, or everybody that I know has a program or has Insanity. But honestly, if you think about it, between all of the US, all of Canada, Puerto Rico, people are really still struggling with getting healthy and fit. And there's always going to be that need. People are always going to need extra accountability. People are always going to need, everything that is going to come in this. And I mean, you can also win some pretty big prizes too, just for signing up and doing a program. So I'm going to kind of just leave this with you, and this is kind of where we'll be able to do like an open Q&A and everything. But I really just want you guys to think about this quote, because this is something that hit me personally really, really hard. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help build theirs. And hearing that, I was like, I want to build my own dream. I don't want to sit in this cubicle and help somebody else be successful and then just get paid for it. You know, so what do you really want out of life, right? Like, you know, if you never had to worry about money, like, what does that ideal life look like? Like, actually take some time out after this call and really think about those things, because those are huge. I mean, having that goal and just thinking about the what ifs, like, what if I could do this? What if this actually could happen? You know, if it could, what does that look like for you? And obviously, you know, either you're listening to this call live or you're being sent the recording because somebody sees something in you. Somebody believes that you are capable of doing exactly the same thing. So you kind of got to take that into account, you know, like really think about this, because this could be a huge life-changing experience. Not only for yourself, but you can help others. You can help your family. You can help your friends, people that matter to you. Okay. So I thank you guys so much for getting on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but here's my information. If you guys want to talk a little bit more, feel free to message me or whoever sent you this video. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and we can kind of have like a open Q&A, or we can call it a night. Whatever you guys need. I'm going to stop recording though.